If behavior charts actually work the way we were taught, you wouldn't still feel stuck. You wouldn't be tracking data every day while behavior just stays the same, or sometimes even gets worse. And you definitely wouldn't be wondering quietly to yourself, what am I missing? If you are using behavior charts thoughtfully and trying to reinforce positively and being consistent and still are not seeing meaningful change, this video is for you. Because behavior charts do not fail because teachers fail. They fail because behavior change requires things charts can't provide on their own. Today I'm going to walk you through why behavior charts often don't work, even when they're evidence-based, and what needs to be added to make them supportive. Welcome back to my channel. I am Rachel from the Behavior Check-In, and I'm a special education teacher turned behavior specialist, and I help teachers with real strategies for real classrooms. Before we go any further, I want to say this clearly. Most educators were taught behavior management, not nervous system supports. So we were given tools, systems, and charts and expectations without being taught the foundations of those tools and what they actually depend on. So when charts don't work, teachers internalize that failure. But this is not a teacher effort issue, it's a systems issue. Once you understand what's missing, this starts to make a lot more sense. So let's start with the foundation. Behavior charts assume that a student already cares about adult feedback. For many students, especially those with trauma histories, anxiety or ADHD or autism, they don't care yet. If a child does not feel emotionally safe, regulated, and connected to the adult, reinforcement doesn't land. And this is where teachers often feel confused because they are kind and they are trying and they do care and they really do want to connect with the child. But connection has to be intentional and it has to be predictable. This is why I love strategies like the 2x10 and why they are so powerful. So for 2 minutes a day for 10 days, you can just focus completely on pairing and building a relationship with the child. That means that we're talking and getting to know them. It's child-led. We're not correcting. We're not redirecting. We're not fixing behavior. We're just pairing. We're building a presence. Because when students feel regulated with an adult, reinforcement starts to matter. Without a relationship, charts are just paper. They're not really going to do anything for you. The relationship is the core foundation. Behavior always has to serve a purpose. We call that a function. So common functions include escape, attention, control, sensory regulation, and access to something. So when a behavior chart doesn't align with the function of a behavior, it's not going to work. You're literally going to be going in circles. For example, if a behavior is driven by escape to get out of something, a delayed reward is not going to compete with the immediate relief of getting out of something. If the behavior is driven by attention, points won't replace connection. If the behavior is sensory, no token system can replace the regulation support that is needed. This is not defiance, it's just what it is. It's communication, it's behavior. And when charts fail, it's often because we're reinforcing what adults value and not what the nervous system of the child is asking for. Let that sit. We're doing what adults value, not what works for the child. So this is where many charts quietly fall apart. If the reward doesn't matter to the student, the chart loses all power. So it's really important to remember that motivation is extremely personal and individual and context dependent and highly impacted by stress. Teachers often will say things like, they don't care about anything or nothing is reinforcing to them. That usually means we haven't found the right reinforcer yet, or the student is too dysregulated to even access motivation. So I like to do preference checks that don't need to be long or formal, just something while I'm pairing with the student that helps me realize what they like. So noticing what the student chooses when they're playing, observing what the student likes to talk about, or just offering them different things to see what they're interested in. If reinforcement isn't meaningful, the chart isn't going to be reinforcing to them. The reinforcement schedule matters. Many behavior charts fail because they ask the student to regulate longer than they're currently able to. All morning, all day, all week. For students with really fragile, sensitive nervous systems, that's not skill building, that's survival. Smaller goals matter. Immediate feedback matters. Frequent success matters. And this is important. We do not fade supports by withholding them first. We fade supports after success is established. So support comes before independence, not the other way around. So charts track behavior, they don't teach skills. This is one of the most important reframes that I want you to take. Behavior charts, they collect data. They do not teach replacement behaviors. That's your job. If a student hasn't been taught how to ask for help or request a break or tolerate frustration or regulate with support or repair mistakes, they're not going to learn it from a chart. The chart is then measuring a skill gap and not a behavior problem. You cannot reinforce a skill that hasn't been explicitly taught, especially for neurodivergent students. Skills must be modeled, practiced, and reinforced before we expect consistency. So here's the piece that pulls all of this together. Behavior charts are not behavior change tools. They are measurement tools. The real intervention happens before the chart. I want you to remember regulation, relationship, skill building, and meaningful reinforcement. When those pieces are in place, charts can help track progress. When they're not, charts feel punitive, even when that's not the intent, and can actually cause more harm. So instead of asking, how do I make this chart work? Ask, what does the student need before that chart could ever help? This video puts some words to something you've been feeling. You're not alone. Most educators were trained to manage behavior, not support nervous systems. If you would like more evidence-based trauma-informed behavior strategies that actually work in real classrooms, like this video, subscribe, check the links below for the tools that support behavior without any power struggles, and share with someone who could really benefit from this. You are not doing too little. You were given incomplete systems, and you are still showing up every single day, and that really matters. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will catch you next Sunday.